Many different countries have been sharing baffling tales and images of the dreadful things they have found in rivers and swamps. It seems like no matter where you turn to fish, you are sure to encounter some eerie and otherworldly type beasts. And recently, we have sighted a whole lot of strange creatures found in rivers and swamps. From the unpredictable bull sharks to the dinosaur-like alligator snapping turtle, here are the 20 terrifying things found in rivers and swamps. Number 20. Japanese giant. These creatures are the third largest amphibians of its kind in the world. Despite its fish-like appearance, the Japanese giant has 2 hands, which makes it appear creepy. Reaching lengths of up to 5 feet and weighing up to 80 pounds, the creatures live on land and also in water. They possess flat heads, elongated bodies, small eyes to detect prey, and wrinkled skin spots with varying patterns of brown and black shades. The Japanese giants are carnivorous, and they devour a variety of animals including fish, crayfish, snails, and small mammals. However, due to their extremely slow metabolisms, the Japanese giant can go weeks without eating. They are also naturally hostile, and it would be very difficult for anyone to overpower. Moreover, they secrete a sticky white mucus that smells pungent and is quite toxic to other predators. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, these species are now in danger of going into extinction. To save these creatures, Japanese officials are doing everything possible to safeguard the DNA of these 23 million years old species. Number 19. Nightmare fuel. Considered the vampire of the river realm, what's more terrifying is that these creatures have existed in cooler regions for more than 400 million years. Lamprey's mouth is jawless, round, and sucker-like, and its sharp teeth are arranged in many concentric circular rows. They are mostly brown-yellow or olive on the dorsal and lateral part of the body, and their adult could weigh up to approximately 2.5 kilograms, and they can reach a length of 120 centimeters. It's funny that, in ancient times, this was a favorite delicacy of Henry I of England. Also in 1953, lamprey pie was served during the coronation of Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom. Despite its palatable taste, this species' mucus and serum are known to be toxic and deadly. Number 18. Bull sharks. The bull shark moves in murky waters where it is harder for the prey to see it coming. It feeds on turtles, bony fish, dolphins, and terrestrial mammals. At first contact with its prey, the shark bites ceaselessly until the prey is unable to flee. They can survive in both salt and fresh water, an indication that before you dive into a river, you should inquire if the water has a reputation for dangerous animals, because nothing is keeping these river monsters from swimming up to the nearby rivers. In 2012, around the western part of the Atlantic Ocean, members of the Dunlap Marine Conservation Program caught one bull shark with over 800 pounds in weight. Despite their body mass, bull shark attacks are extremely rare, however. They are often considered to be the most dangerous sharks to humans because of their aggressive tendencies. That is why they were added to the red list of the International Union for Conservation of Nature as animals that should be avoided. Number 17. Water vampires. According to European folklore, vampires cannot pass through flowing water because it's clean and can't harbor diseases. But it was recently discovered that vampires also exist in rivers today. Water vampires, also called Amazon's payara, deserve their reputation as the craziest fish found in the Amazon basin of South America. Though little is known about these species due to little research, however, the first thing you will notice is its 2 gigantic outward-facing teeth, sharp, spiky daggers rising from their lower jaws. Each tooth measures 4 to 6 inches, and they are so big that payaras are born with holes in their upper jaws that can house them. These fish also boast 10 to 35 pounds of weight and are 2 to 3 feet in length. As water demons, they thrive by feeding on fish, including piranhas. More fascinating is that water vampires do not suck the blood out of their victims, but their fangs are way longer than that of hybrid Klaus's and Damon's vampire teeth combined, as shown in the Vampire Diaries movie. As it is not confirmed whether these creatures still exist, it is better to keep your eyes open and your feet out of running waters. Number 16. Horrifying leech. Leeches are parasitic worms we subconsciously want to keep out of our waters forever. These species are fat, dark, and glossy earthworms with a solid, segmented body and tapered endings that include a pair of suckers at each end. The leech feeds by using its suction cups to affix onto its prey's skin and extract its blood. Since the freshwaters of our world now contain numerous species of leeches, it's discovered that each is unique and equally frightening. After being thought to be a thing of the past, the leech was discovered in the Amazon basin. As there are over 680 kinds of these species, of which 480 are found in freshwater while 100 are saltwater and others live on land, this is the worst possible thing to be found in a swamp or river. Number 15. Shiger Idol. The idol was found in a depth of 13 feet in a peat bog by gold miners on January 24, 1894. It was found near the village of Kirovograd, Russia. If it was a mere piece of floating wood found in a swamp, it wouldn't have been a serious issue. But the Shiger Idol is different. This piece of wood is carved like a totem pole with human faces and is terrifying to look at. Its preservation is pretty amazing because it is the only surviving wood artifact from the Stone Age. It was made from larch, then preserved in a bog that had an acid. This kills microorganisms. After a thorough examination of the idol, its radiocarbon dating showed that it is more than 11,000 years old. Quite amazing that humans during the Stone Age managed to create an idol like this. It was created out of a tree that was at least 159 years old, and stones, of course, were used to make the zigzag markings on the body as well as the face. Even now, the mystery behind this totem remains unknown, but some believe this idol was used to warn people from entering into a dangerous area. Number 14. Otter. Otters are quite famous for their playful and curious nature, and also remain shrouded in mystery due to their elusive behavior and the remote locations where they tend to reside. With their slender bodies, long flattened tails, and four-webbed feet, they are pretty strong swimmers. While swimming mostly on its back, its nostrils and small ears can automatically close to avoid water penetration. With up to 150,000 strands of hair and thick, smooth fur providing them with heat, the animal's weight ranges from 6.5 pounds to 57 pounds, and they are typically found in almost all continents on Earth except Australia and Antarctica. We have different types of otters, the sea otters and the river otters. The only thing these otters have in common is their smelly feces. Since they could murder other animals just for fun and not to get food out of it, these animals are also notoriously aggressive and evil. River otters are highly active predators in the water, feeding on both aquatic and semi-aquatic animals. With their 36 specialized teeth, including sharp canines and carnassials, they can inflict fatal bites on prey. Number 13. Alligator Rampage. Thinking of hopping into a river in Florida? Well, think twice. Alligators are on rampage, and if you must swim, only do that in designated swimming areas during daylight hours and keep pets on a leash away from the water. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, alligators can be found anywhere there is water in the state, and that includes lakes, ponds, marshes, and swamps. This may not be far-fetched, and as confirmed by Defenders of Wildlife, a United States-based national conservation organization, an estimated almost 1.5 million gators are living in the Sunshine State among the 5 million across the whole southeastern region of the United States. Since 1948, only 401 cases of alligator bites on humans have been reported in Florida. Well, these crawling monsters can, however, eat anything, including fish, frogs, turtles, snakes, small mammals, and whatever is available to eat. Also, when any of its kills are too small to be swallowed, gators reserve it underwater for later. An alligator's bite carries a force of over 2,000 pounds per square inch. A human's bite is just 150, while a large German shepherd's bite falls under 240 pounds per square inch. It is wise that, whenever you encounter an alligator a few yards away, turn back away slowly, then run in the opposite direction. Not zigzag, run straight as fast as possible. Number 12. Mata-mata. Only a few animals are as well adapted as the mata-mata turtles when it comes to living in river ecosystems. In Spanish, mata-mata means shrub. And this all makes sense as the animal looks exactly shrub-like. Mata-mata are freshwater turtles found in slow-moving stagnant pools, stagnant blackwater streams, marshes, and swamps primarily in the Amazon and Orinoco basins. These nocturnal reptiles, like many turtles, can hold their breath for long periods with their snout, their nose, and they also can conceal themselves, making them cunning hunters. They can sneak up on and swallow prey undetected. The mata can either be brown or black with an oblong back that can measure up to 95 centimeters and weigh over 21 kilograms. While hunting its prey, the creature often thrusts out its head and opens its large mouth as wide as possible, creating a low-pressure vacuum that sucks the prey into its mouth. They may look terrifying because of their look, but mata does have a lovely smile. That's why pet lovers love to keep them as pets. Number 11. Soviet tank. Who would have thought a whole Soviet tank would stay hidden below a river surface? In 2016, a Soviet T-3476 tank was retrieved from the Don River in southern Russia. The whole recovery process looked like a movie scene as curious onlookers gazed with much amazement. The tank was believed to have been used during World War II and produced by the Stalingrad tractor factory, located in what is now the city of Volgograd. According to the head of the Patriot Park Department for Exhibits Search, all T-34 tanks produced at the Stalingrad factory were destroyed in battles during the first years of the Soviet Union's Great Patriotic War against Nazi Germany in World War II, which makes this tank one of a kind. You are probably wondering how this tank ended up in a river. Two theories exist to explain how the T-3476 tank found its way to this riverbed. The first theory was suggested by locals residing near the Dom River. They claimed that the Soviet troops sank the tank during their retreat in order not to lose the weapon to their enemy. However, the tank armament is still intact, which contradicts this theory. According to the second version, the tank fell into the river as it was moving along the pontoon bridge. Now, this is most likely the case as the tank was lost in the summer of 1942. It may be covered in rust and mold, but it remains one of the remnants of the past war. Number 10. Gooch Catfish. With its massive size and frightening appearance, there is little wonder why people are scared of Gooch Catfish. Also known as the giant devil catfish and the killer catfish, the Gooch is a rare species mostly found in fast-moving waters and lives in mountainous rivers, such as the Great Kali, Ramganga, and Brahmaputra rivers in India and Nepal. As one of the largest catfish in the world, it can grow to an incredible length of up to 10 to 12 feet and weigh at least 200 pounds. Its length is more than that of an American alligator. With the fish alien look, bullet-shaped head, flattened body, long kind of wispy fins, almost cat-like eyes, and camouflage coloration, it can be difficult to see by other sea creatures and people when snorkeling, especially when it's between murky water, caves, and rocks. These species can also sit on the bottom of fast-flowing water. The catfish feeds on amphibians, crustaceans, and invertebrates. Also, these fish had once brought down a water buffalo weighing over 1,000 pounds. Because Gooch have become accustomed to eating partially burned human remains dumped in the river from funeral pyres, there are periods when swimmers were dragged underwater by these fish in a river in India. So you should avoid mountainous rivers as a Gooch might be lurking around. Number 9. Scuba Spiders. Do you think you are safe from spiders when you are underwater? Think again, because scuba spiders are good swimmers too. These spiders are called the water spider or the diving bell spider. The mermaid spiders are the only spider that spends their lives underwater. They are spotted either in clean freshwater habitats with aquatic vegetation, ponds, lakes, canals, marshes, and slow-moving streams. As they swim and breathe underwater using unique air bubbles which they carry on the hair of their body, they are quite amazing to look at. When it comes to size, males are 10 millimeters to 15 millimeters long, which is approximately 30% larger than females with body length of 8 millimeters to 12 millimeters. You might think you just have to avoid the males, but when it comes to bite, size does not matter. A bite from this spider can be very painful to humans and can cause localized inflammation, slight feverishness, and vomiting, which can last for days. Number 8. Radioactive River. Rivers supply most of the water we need for household usage. But the Reka-Techa River in Russia is quite the opposite of this. The water is 243 kilometers long, and its basin covers 7,600 square kilometers. What makes Techa famous is the high presence of radioactive wastes. From 1949 to 1956, at the Mayak complex, It was discovered that a Russian nuclear facility accidentally dumped an estimated 76 million cubic meters of radioactive wastewater into the Teka River. It wasn't long before the river became one of the most dangerous dumping grounds. About 28,000 residents living near the water before it became polluted, and who relied on the river for their water supply after the contamination, had to evacuate the area. But Techa is not the only polluted water in Russia. Starting in 1951, the Soviet Union used Lake Karachay, also known as Reservoir 9, as a dumping site for radioactive waste. This small lake in the southern Ural Mountains in central Russia became the body of water with the most radioactive contamination in the world. A scientific study in 1993 found that the lake emitted 4,440,000,000,000 megabecquerels, about 120 million curies of radioactivity. Number 7. Ektved Girl. Ancient trees are renowned for their durability even when found several years underwater, and this piece of wood you see wasn't found alone. The remains of a strange Bronze Age girl were also found along with this piece of wood. This girl is now called the Ektved Girl, named after a village in Denmark where she was found. Archaeologists believed she was buried at least 3,400 years ago. Luckily, the bog has managed to preserve her skeleton and also include her hair, nails, clothing, and even some of her teeth. The teenager was presumed to be between 16 and 18 years old at the time of her exit. The clothes she was wearing, however, became popular among historians who believed she must have been a stylish young woman. She had a bare waist and wore a short string skirt with bronze bracelets, a woolen belt with a large disc decorated with spirals and a spike. Around each arm was a ring of bronze, and she also had a slender ring in her ear. With this attire, it was speculated that she wasn't an ordinary girl, but must have been a priestess of a cult in her former life. Number 6. Creepy dolls. Back in 2014, the people of Alabama were shocked by the unsettling news from the Autauga County Sheriff's Office about the recovery of some creepy doll atop bamboo stakes from a local swamp located between Prattville and Autaugaville. Autauga Chief Deputy Joe Sedinger, who found these creepy things, said he was working on a stolen vehicle report when he first noticed the dolls, but took it for a mere Halloween prank and didn't give it much thought. But the following day, as the dolls could be sighted from the road, many people saw this and expressed concerns on social media. On getting wind of the situation, Joe Sedinger and his team recovered the scary-looking dolls. The dolls totaled 21, with each having different dresses. The swamp where the dolls were found is believed to possess some unusual spirit living in its depth due to some strange loud noise coming from it. Also, the land the dolls were placed on was believed to be owned by a timber company, and after many attempts to contact them, Sedinger said no one came forward to claim the dolls. That even makes it creepier. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Imagine swimming in the river you see in this picture. Nothing can be so relaxing, right? But how will you react to this lengthy and creepy creature with jewel-like eyes swimming next to you? We know that this image has your skin crawling. Would you stay to take a picture of this moment like these people did? Have you ever encountered something creepy like this when you were at the river? Let us know your comments below. Now, let's move on to the next one. Number 5. Asian carp. Asian carp are fish native to Europe and Asia. The common carp has been in the U.S. for over 100 years, but the newest carp invaders, bighead carp, black carp, grass carp, and silver carp, collectively are known as invasive carp. They can grow to 5 feet and weigh more than 100 pounds. These ferocious feeders have been spread by sport fishers' bait to other parts of the world, most especially to the Mississippi River system. Although there is no indication that the silver and bighead carp found within the Mississippi National River and Recreational Area are spawning here, they represent a threat to the valued aquatic ecosystems. Also, the bighead and silver carp were considered the most significant threat because of their overconsumption of smaller animals and plants in the body of water. And since a female carp can lay up to 6 million eggs, these carp can quickly take over the local fish populations in the lakes and rivers they invade. Also, carp are thought to lower water quality, which can kill off sensitive organisms like native freshwater mussels. Whenever silver carp notice a vibration of any boat propellers, they can jump up to 3 meters out of the water. This has caused serious injury to boaters and water skiers in areas of the Mississippi and Illinois. So you better be careful if you plan to make a boat trip to any of these areas where the invasive carp rules the ecosystem. Number 4. Alligator snapping turtle. An alligator snapping turtle like a dinosaur due to its stocky armored shell covered in spikes. Their shells are commonly dark brown. They have large pointed heads with hooked beaks, and unlike other species of snapping turtles, their eyes are located on the sides of the head rather than at the front. These bizarre, rocky-like creatures can grow between 31.5 to almost 40 inches and weigh about 154 to almost 200 pounds. In the wild, they can live up to about 45 years, although they can live much longer in captivity. The oldest snapping turtle ever recorded was a captive that reached 70 years. You can easily find adult turtles in deeper waters of lakes, canals, rivers, marshes, and swamps, while hatchlings are usually found in smaller streams. They are iconic scavengers that feed on fish and other turtles, as well as frogs, snakes, snails, small mammals, insects, and aquatic plants. These turtles have fierce disposition and may appear curious most times, but when they encounter a swimmer, they are most likely to slip quietly away from any disturbance, or may seek shelter under mud or grass nearby. Number 3. Voodoo relics. Voodoo may be famous among pop culture around the globe, but this version of the religion of Asian origin is breathtaking. Voodoo is a traditional Afro-Asian religion, but its followers have spread as wide to places like Jamaica, the Benin Republic, Brazil, and the United States. Voodoo is beyond mere using needles on dolls, sorcery, and some other black magic shown in movies. This doesn't mean it is just an abstract belief without its share of artifacts. Some fishermen recently recovered weird voodoo relics in a river in Detroit, as they were fishing for metallic objects at the bottom of the river using a magnet. Take it or not, magnet fishing is becoming more popular as many underwater metal objects and treasures have been recovered through this method. Voodoo contains multiple cultural elements, and these groups of finders shared videos online showing a pot containing some of voodoo artifacts and objects. This relic represents a sacred tradition in history. Number 2. The burning river. Methane gas is emitted from a variety of natural sources, but one would think that it shouldn't be found in water. This is far from the truth, as there is methane gas burning through the Condamine River in Queensland, Australia. This area recently exploded with fire and held a large flame. Gas seeping into the river began shortly after coal seam gas operations started nearby and is growing in volume, and the stretch of river affected is expanding in length. This came to the limelight during Jeremy Buckingham's trip to Chinchilla in southwestern Queensland to investigate the impact of the coal seam gas industry on the environment in Australia. He confirmed after lighting a fire in the river and seeing it burn for hours that so much gas was bubbling through the river. Locals said this river has never bubbled like this historically, but the government said the gas bubbles originated mostly from Surat Basin geological formations, a geological basin in eastern Australia. This methanogenic madness has caused gas to spread through other fissures, and if we don't act fast on controlling this, other rivers might start burning too. Number 1. The Giant Kaluga Sturgeon. We know rivers and fish are inseparable, but the giant Kaluga, also known as river beluga, caught in a river in northeast China, exceeds our expectations of what underwater creatures are. These river monsters weigh 1,133 pounds, which is almost the size of an adult bull. Seen as a living fossil in water, this fish is about 12 feet long and nearly 100 years old. To catch a glimpse of the giant creature, thousands of locals flocked there to watch. And the sturgeon was quickly purchased by a local conservation bureau who promised that, after the fish's artificial breeding, it would be released. The fish is valuable, especially for salmon roe, a raw ingredient for delicacies. With this, it has been hunted to near extinction. Despite continuous poaching patrols, poachers continue to catch the fish. But in Russia, illegally fishing for Kaluga anywhere in the Amur River is now a felony punishable by law. Well, it's not like Kalugas are dumb. They are known to be naturally aggressive, and instances of them toppling fishing boats and drowning fishermen have been reported, although no concrete evidence exists of them assaulting or hurting people. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.